I guess when you see an influencer review a new eyeshadow palette, it goes something like this. Here's my new Blendbunny palette, here's the look I created with it. I like the blendability and the pigmentation. That's great, but what about the staying power? Does it last on you? I have an oily eyelids problem. This one lasted pretty much the whole day, but I don't usually have this problem. All the eyeshadows last quite well on me. Bummer, I tried lots of brands of eyeshadows, but very few of them actually last through the day. Oh, but for the eyeshadows that do fade, I use a simple trick. Just use an eye primer before applying the eyeshadow. With that, everything stays on all day. Have you ever tried an eye primer before? No, it has never occurred to me. Now, this wasn't to bring down anyone giving this advice, and we're starting with a primer, of course. The person might be genuinely trying to help, but if you mention you've tried lots of brands of eyeshadow, you obviously aren't new to the makeup game, right? So in this video, you're going to learn all about this palette, including the actual wear test on super oily lids, mine, on a primer, of course. Starting with the purple eyeshadow in the outer corner, kind of shaping that outer V, and with this look I want to give you a full rainbow fantasy. Use a tissue to wipe your brush between the colors. I'm also going to tell you how I started out with the eyeshadow when there were no primers around. At least here they were definitely not available, and this video is also like a one palette, three looks type of video, sort of like Annette's makeup corner. Doesn't hurt channel. Annette, if you're ever watching this, hi, love your videos. Blend the colors together, blend, 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 and so in the blend you will get that kind of bluish color as well. And we're going for a bit of a halo eye look, so we're putting yellow in the middle. When I was a teen, just starting out with my makeup, well, actually I started, like my first attempt was as young as 6, but that's a story for another day. So when I was actually starting with wearing makeup on a regular basis, eyeshadow primers literally did not exist in the makeup stores. I have no idea if they were available in some pro stores to makeup artists. Also, I don't really have an idea if they were available in other countries, but here in makeup stores it was suggested that you apply your eyeshadow with a sponge just like that on bare eyelids. And it did work for some people. Some people were actually wearing eyeshadow and it kind of was holding for the most part of the day, but it definitely wasn't the case for me. Now, after you've cleaned the brush of the tissue again, you can start blending with this kind of a clean brush and clean it between the colors as well. So on me, obviously no eyeshadow was holding up. So despite all my love for color, I could not wear bright and colorful eyeshadow like this at all because it would fade on me in like 20 minutes or less. The blending of the darker color is not the best, so we are going to add a little bit of this with a fluffy blending brush. I mean, the blending isn't bad either, don't take me wrong, but I would like it to be better, like sugar pills. This practically looks like a neon rainbow, by the way, like wow. Now for the lower lid, you might want to use a Q-tip or a cotton bud, whatever you call it, to put your primer there. It will just be more convenient to apply this way. So anyway, I had to resort to wearing only eyeshadows that kind of almost matched my skin tone and, you know, like maybe just had a little sparkle or something. So I remember I had a beige eyeshadow which was almost the color of my skin and that has silver sparkle in it. So when I put it on, it kind of looked like my lids were nude, but they were sparkling. And all that still creased terribly. I retouched it like at least every hour. Then one day, already in my early 20s, a revolutionary thing happened. I walked into a MAC store because I kept hearing about how good MAC eyeshadow was, so I thought maybe I should give that a try, maybe that will last better. And they had just recently launched paint pots, and so the sales girl told me about those and said that they worked to make the eyeshadow last better. I was like, what? She said, well, it's like an eyeshadow primer, which was like the first time I heard this word in respect to makeup. So I bought the paint pots, like one of them, and also dark purple MAC eyeshadow, and all that together lasted, are you ready? It lasted a flipping 5 hours on me. I was blown away. No eyeshadow has ever lasted so well on me, ever! And I mean, right now we have way better primers and I would actually consider the staying power of 5 hours quite mediocre. But back then, and for me, it was revolutionary. I ended up getting another couple of eyeshadows in my first palette and became even more obsessed with makeup than I was before, if that was even possible. After that, of course, the actual primers appeared and I was like, whoa, this thing can stay on all day? And please let me know what your first experience with the eyeshadow was. Like, when was it? Did you use a primer? What it was like? Then I also tried some NYX single eyeshadows, which did not last on me at all, even with the primer, although I already had some good primers. I realized that not all eyeshadows were created equal and made it my mission to get this information out to you. And if you want to support my endeavors a little bit more, you can leave me a tip if you think my work deserves it. There's a tip jar linked in the description box, or you can also check check out some affiliate codes out there and I will also receive a small commission. My channel isn't monetized yet, so this is the only way currently I can make money from YouTube videos and can create even more content for you because I can dedicate more time to that. Before I let you know my final thoughts on the palette, let me show you the wear test and also the first impressions look. Oh, and of course this lipstick tutorial is coming soon. Whilst a rainbow look that we've already created is the most evident idea for a rainbow palette like this one, the first impressions look was actually centered around the green color, the vibrant green in the middle of the eyelid, because that's my favorite color of the palette. By the way, don't forget to tell me what your favorite color of the palette is. I just feel like it's such a unique shade of eyeshadow. Usually the eyeshadows are either more emerald or lime green, and this one's like a true grass green. This look has a tropical vibe to it. So aside from the greens and yellows and teal, it has the purple and the red like a tropical bird. As for the ombre eyeliner that I have just slapped on behind the scenes, I have a separate tutorial for this one linked in the description box. First impressions from the first look done with the Blendbunny Blends palette. I think the colors are insanely pigmented. It is absolutely awesome. They're true to the pan. I don't know yet for how long it will last, but they apply very well. As for blending, I would say it blends really well, don't take me wrong, but not as well as Sugar Pill, which, if you don't know, is my favorite brand of eyeshadows. It still blends really, really well. I think it's like an 8 or 9 out of 10, just not a 10 out of 10. But overall, I'm so far really happy with the quality. I confess that at first I was going to do the wear test with the first green look and wasn't initially going for this one. However, by the time I was done filming other videos that you might have seen already, the makeup haul and the worst makeup of 2022, it was so late that I just had to take all my makeup off. Like, I totally mismanaged my time that day. So I had to do this third look, which I by no means regret, and I went for the purple, blue, and the pastel colors. I intentionally put the darker colors in the middle of the eyelid and in the outer corner because that's where the colors crease on me the most, whilst on the lower lid and in the inner corner they crease less, and the creasing is definitely more visible on darker colors. Today is the testing day for the Blendbunny Cosmetics Blends palette. I have applied the eyeshadow to my eyes about 3 hours ago, but I have just finished my makeup recently, so I'm only coming here now. And yes, my tree is still up. I usually keep it up all February, sometimes even a little bit of March, just because I love it, you know, not because I'm lazy. I mean, I am a little bit lazy, but the tree is here not because of that. So that's how the eyeshadow is looking so far. Everything seems to be absolutely perfect. There is no creasing. There is no fading, so at least for 3 hours it definitely stays on my super oily lids. And just to make it clear for you guys, I have very, very, very oily lids, so it's a rare brand that actually stays on me. So if this one actually stays on me throughout the day, you can be 99.999% sure that it will stay on you. However, if it does fade on me after a few hours, does not mean it won't work for you, okay? Now I'm off to run some errands and let's see how it goes. I'm back about 5 hours after applying the eyeshadow, and yes, I got my fringe. That was one of my errands. So far the eyeshadow looks great, no fading, no creasing. Let me show you the look. As you can see, everything is pretty flawless here. Let's jump to the next stage. Now it's been 6.5 hours and the eyeshadow is absolutely still on. Let me show you how it looks. I don't see a single creasing or fading moment here. Do you? It looks perfect. One day I'll do an even longer test, but for now, yay! Blendbunny Cosmetics works for me. I'm so happy. And if this was useful for you, don't forget to press thumbs up on this video. And let's go to the next part. Blendbunny Blends is a really good palette, you guys. You can rely on it to have the matte color that you want. The blendability, now I stand by my word with the first impressions, the blendability in the skin is like 8 out of 10, but the blendability between the colors is really good. As you can see, I practically created a neon rainbow, even though these colors are technically not neon. So you can definitely rely on it for the pigmentation and to create almost any matte color that you want. I recommend it. Like 9 out of 10 on the whole, I would say. Let me know what you think of the Blendbunny brand if you have ever tried it. And if yes or if not, there is also this review with the playlist where you can see what I recommend, what I don't recommend, and most importantly, why. See you there. Bye.